If you ever wanted to have a fingertip grip ergomize, this might be just for you. This is the Pulsar Xlite V3 Mini, and as the name says, it is literally baby ergomize. The build quality is very nice. You can hear it slightly cracking when you squeeze the mice. I'm not going to try to break this, but when I use the mice, I won't notice any of that. Especially compared to the ULX that was cracking a lot when I was using mine for the first time. It was making me crazy, but I've sent mine to repair to find a mouse and it's almost perfect. On the Xlite V3 Mini there is no wobble, no rattle, it is built to last for a long time. My X2 Bruce Lee does this almost the same sound when I think it might be the cutouts on the bottom of the mice, but still there is not much of a flexing or cracking, so it is a solid chair right here. Coating, it is nice matte finish. We have this beautiful matte black. You can also get this in matte white. It doesn't leave fingerprints like for example Zoe does. If you have sweaty hands, you might notice some of it on your mice, but that happens too with almost every mice I own, so not a big deal for me. For comparison, it is more grippy than my Bruce Lee is, which also is a rubberized matte finish, but this one is much nicer and grippier on the Xlite V3 Mini. The Bruce Lee is more slippery to my liking, so I had to put these extra pad grips on mine. Main clicks are opticals, there is no post or pre-travel, the buttons doesn't wobble, side buttons are nice and clicky, without any much of a pre-travel. Only the mouse 4 is slightly mushy, but I barely use side buttons on my mice in gaming, so I do not find this is a problem. Also, they are a bit higher, so in my opinion you have to move your thumb a little bit more to reach them, especially with my grip style, but like I said, I barely use them, so I don't find that as a problem as well. Also the mouse 1 and mouse 2, there are slight grooves on the bottoms, so your fingers really like lock in. Also the front side of the buttons are curved forward towards down, creating this nice curve in front of your mice, extending your grip style even more. For a comparison with my X2 Bruce Lee, these opticals sound less loud and are much easier to press, so they are lighter. As on my X2 Bruce Lee, they are much louder and heavier to press. Scroll wheel is very smooth and quiet sounding with refined steps, but they do not click like Vexy or Zowie. Scrolling experience is very nice and comfortable. The clicks on the mouse wheel is very nice and almost like tactile. The scroll wheel shell is very solid. Also, Pulsar is using a dust-proof cover for the scroll wheel encoder, so you might not be getting into those situations when your scroll wheel starts registering movement, even though you are not touching it. This is, for example, happening when the dust gets in the scroll wheel encoder, which then makes the encoder think the scroll wheel is in movement. For example, this happens with controllers when they start to stick drift. Which cause for this is there is a dust sitting inside the encoder and then the same thing happens. The Xlite V3 Mini is an ergonomic mouse shape that reminds me a lot of the Zowie EC3 CW, but in much smaller version of it. It doesn't have that weird bulky mid-hump like for example Lemzo Thorn has, so if you ever tried ergomize from Zowie but the EC3 CW is still too big for you, the Xlite V3 Mini might be the right spot for you. The mouse performance is up to these standards, so it's equipped with the latest gen PixArt EAW3395 sensor with a 32-bit ARM processor. With addition to 4K polling rate, the 4K dongle is sold separately. Stock skates are the basic ones that you can nowadays find on almost any of the new mices. It's not as slow as GPX2 has, but nothing exceptional like Lemzu does on their mices. They are mediocre and ready to be replaced at any time, but they can be used as well. I don't have any mousepad that these won't be unusable. As for comparison, I have been asked a lot recently about comparing the Xlite V3 Mini against with Pulsar X2H Mini. Also, these two mices are the same build quality, same sensor, same clicks, so I am not going to review the X2H Mini in a different video and repeat myself twice and do like a copy pasta. So I will compare these two in this video. So if you wonder how the X2H Mini is in hand, this is more of a claw grip ready mice. It is also a small mice, so I find myself almost fingertipping the mice. You can relax, claw or palm grip it with smaller hands. Mine are about 18 by 10 cm, so my fingers are almost going far behind those mouse clicks. So if you have bigger size of your hands than mine and you want to comfortably grip the mice in a relaxed position, you might want to consider going for the medium size. In the comparison with the medium size X2 Bruce Lee, also the X2 V2, as these are basically the same mices with different internals, the X2H Mini is a shorter, it is a slimmer, slightly more curved sides, so you can lock in your fingers, but the difference is very minor. Also, as the H in the name says, it has higher, slightly more rounded back hump, not as big as the X2H Medium will have over the X2 Medium Bruce Lee, but on the Mini it is more noticeable. But in my opinion, the mice fits very nicely into the pocket of my hand, of my palm, which creates a very nice and comfortable grip when using a claw grip, and really nicely locks into my hand and the back of my palm. But as you can notice, for my hand size and grip, I'm almost touching the side buttons with my thumb. I had this issue with my thumb touching the side buttons when in heavy use of the mice in like any movement-based games like Apex Legends or Call of Duty Warzone, and I was accidentally pressing on those buttons, so keep that in mind when looking for these mice, especially in this size. The medium X2, I don't come across with this problem with side buttons, but similar thing was happening when I was using a Logitech G Pro X Superlight, so just giving you that as a comparison. Also, the main clicks should be the same as on the Xlite V3 Mini, but they are much more clacky than on the Xlite V3 Mini, that they sound much more crispy. Side buttons also sound slightly less crispy than on the Xlite V3 Mini, with a very unnoticeable pulse travel of the mice 4. Scroll wheel sounds more scratchy than on the Xlite V3 Mini. Also, the steps are less defined than on the V3 Mini. So if you are looking to try any of these mices, you have to really consider what grip style you are going to be using and what style of mice do you want to be using. The X2H Mini is an ambidextrous mice with higher back hump, and Xlite V3 Mini is an ergonomic mice for more like a relaxed grip. For fingertip grippers, I might say the X2H Mini might be better opinion, as your finger doesn't sit too high like Xlite V3 Mini. But if that's your preferred grip style, it's also up to you. I don't use this style of a grip, so I cannot vouch for which is the best for you. I highly hope you found this video answering all of your questions about these two beautiful mices. If you have any more questions, you can ask me in the comments of this video, or you can find me on Twitter, where I try to post almost daily. I will put you link to my Twitter account into the video description. If you consider liking this video, hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. I appreciate any of that, and have a beautiful day. Peace out.